Hey guys, welcome. Now I'm here with some messages. It's been quite the time. Guys, I got sick. Now everyone I know has gotten, well, no, I don't want to say everybody I know, let's be truthful, but it feels like everybody. Many people I know have gotten COVID, okay? And, you know, they've said it just feels like a cold and the flu, and you get through it. Now, nobody I personally know has died from COVID, okay? And now, I got sick. Now, did I take a COVID test? No, I didn't. Because you know what? This is where the label doesn't matter to me. I'm sick. I need to take care of myself. There was a lesson to learn in this experience. And I learned the lesson. And I got to a deeper level of caring for myself. Okay? And it just has been interesting to see, because everybody has been so afraid to catch COVID because of what has been created. I'm not going to take away from any pain that COVID has caused anybody, because it's caused everybody pain in some sort of way. But, you know, many of these people that I met, first of all, just healing from all the emotions. Healing from the fact that, you know, nobody wants to pass COVID around. That guilt and shame of I don't want to get anyone sick. But then of having it and living through it. Now, guys, this is sickness. We catch a cold. We catch the flu. And we should always be taking care of ourselves, not just because if it's COVID or not. We should always be taking care of our health. And if we get sick, we need to really laser focus on taking care of ourselves, taking time to rest. And, you know, it's kind of baffling, because the media, you know, you see it on every commercial, like, has for the longest time before I can remember, before COVID, like pushing cold medications and like, you got to get back to work, you got to get back to life. And I've never agreed with that. When you're sick, you need to honor your sickness, and you need to honor your healing, and you need to honor the pathway to getting better. And I've never been one to believe it's just in a pill and I just get back to life. That's not natural to me. It doesn't feel right, and it feels like, you know, you're being robbed of your healing process. But then too, I do understand that, you know, humans don't like to suffer, but sometimes the suffering is part of the process, and there's something to be gained in the suffering. There's something to learn in the suffering. I'm gonna say, if my arm is hanging off by a thread, that I might not, you know, want some help. This is not extreme. We're not creating with extreme energy here. We're creating through the center point. We found some balance. But, you know, even people saying, you know, cleanliness. We need to honor cleanliness all the time. But we also, too, can't be afraid of Mother Nature and the dirt. Okay? There's a balance here. There's a switching of patterning here. There's some enlightenment. Okay? Guys, bear with me, because I'm not 100% yet, but I was called to be here to share these messages. And I want to share the messages that are coming through, and I'm not going to be doing as much editing with the subconscious mind. You guys know I really like to help the subconscious and put in a lot of imagery so that the subconscious has an easier time shifting. And I spend a lot of time doing that, because I love you guys, and it's part of my gift. It's part of my gift to the collective. But I also have to honor healing with myself. And I always say that, then I always end up doing the work anyways. I mean, I'm going to try to be mindful this time to take a break, because Brown Bear Spirit is here today. We're going to talk about that in channeled messages. Okay, guys. Now, before I get too wild about, you know, artificial medications here, I do want to say that there are many natural remedies that we can use when we're sick. You know, many people use lemon, lime, ginger, and honey. Now, I know not all vegans reach for the honey, but honey is also very beneficial It has natural antibiotics. I always amp up the garlic and onion intake because I mean, just look into garlic, guys. Look into garlic and onion and see the benefits of that. And there are some natural cold medications out there now. Just look into them, read the labels, and make sure it's something you feel called to take. All right, guys. So there are many tools in our toolbox that we can use in our wellness journey. Now, the big messages that are coming through have been, we're really tired, and many of us want to give up. And I feel like a lot of the collective is just like, well, it's not just working out for me, so I'm just going to give up. And I feel like there's even a portion of the collective that just really want to give up in God, the divine, the creator, and just the universe. Just be like, you know what? I've been trying all of this. It's not working out. Boom. F it. I'm done. I'm going over here. And I'm going back to playing with the devil energies. Or, that kind of I'm giving up. I'm going on to something else. I'm giving up on my purpose. My purpose is not working out for me, and I'm going somewhere else. I'm giving up on my manifestations, and I'm going somewhere else. But the message is not to give up. This is getting really heart-centered and asking yourself, are you doing this for the reward, or are you doing this because this is part of you and it's the right thing to do? And yes, it may be really hard, but we came here to do some really hard stuff. And we're strong enough to do it. That's why we've gone through all this stuff. We're going through all this stuff to become stronger. The diamond became the diamond because it got put under a lot of pressure. It faced a lot of challenges. And maybe that doesn't feel fair all the time, but guys, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is life is not fair. And life is certainly not fair here. But are we going to let that make us, are we going to give up because of that? No, because we came in here to create the fairness. We're the creators of this new world where things are going to feel just and right and fair. We don't want to be giving up in the creation process. We don't want to be giving up in the building process. Now, that doesn't mean if you're called to walk away and take a break from what you're building, that can be part of the process. Take a break. Walk away from it. Switch gears. Watch, there's nothing wrong with watching Netflix if you need to watch Netflix. Just keep it in balance. There's nothing wrong with taking a break from your spiritual quest because it's just become, it's just, you're living, breathing, sleeping, eating, expanding all the time. That's not balance. Find your balance. Find your center point. Don't be a teeter-totter. And if you are a teeter-totter, I love you, and we're going to heal through it anyways, okay? Boy, I want to put a teeter-totter right there right now. I guess we'll have to find out if I do or not when I get this up on the channel. Now, one of the other big messages coming through is how do we marry our 5D patterning and our 5D selves, what still feels like very 3D based world? Because, the illusions of the Matrix, they're still acting up. They're acting up. But they are being torn down. They are being torn apart. That's why we're at where we're at right now in the universe. I mean, you can see so many people seeing very clearly the truth. You can see this as a time of a grand mass awakening. More and more people are waking up to the truth. Every day it's just, the truth is negative. And this artificial hack of the Matrix knows that. So it wants us to get back in our creature comforts and our illusions. And, because the truth is hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But many of us have swallowed it, man. We swallowed it. We swallowed that stuff. We didn't even have any water to wash it down with. I have a sip of my tea. Okay. So, and this all ties into one of the biggest things, the monetary system. As the creators of this new world, we're not monetarily based. And many of us are trying to expand our healing practices. And we're having a hard time finding the balance. And this came up in one of my spiritual groups. They're like, if you have a spiritual gift, do you charge or not for it? And should you even be charging for your services? Well, there was a whole 5 of Wands situation, altercation, and people, saying, half the people were saying, well, I don't want to say half because it wasn't really half. There was a portion of the people saying, you shouldn't charge. You need to give your gifts for the gifts to make the world a better place. And if you charge, Spirit's going to take your gifts away. That's not true. Everything is situational. Everything is personal. It's just like saying every plant, if you don't care for it in a certain way, is going to die. Well, there are basic things. This plant needs water, okay? But that's not reality of life. And we've spoken about this at the channel before. There are many people in the healing arts. You go for yoga, you pay your yoga instructor. Okay? You go to the, a fitness instructor, you pay your fitness instructor. You go, to a cooking class, or you learn from a chef, you pay the chef. You go for acupuncture, you pay for acupuncture. All of a sudden, if you're a healer and doing what we do, you can't charge, or you're a horrible person, you don't want to save the earth, and Spirit's going to take away your gifts. That's just not true. We all are healing the world in our own unique way. We're all coming back to one in our own unique way. We're all a piece of the puzzle in our own unique way. And if you are healing full time, and you want an energy exchange, whatever that energy exchange is, and you got to make a living, you also got to honor that too. It's not the healer's job to change the monetary system, and we cannot be in depletion because we're always constantly healing other people. Guys, I've been there. I've done this purposely. Well, not purposely, but as part of my path. Like, I have a hard time charging because I hate the monetary system. It's not part of my 5D patterning. It's not part of my authentic self. And I've had people taking advantage of me. And I've drained myself out to the point when I saw, my acupuncturist, she said, you can't heal anymore. Guys, I know what it's like to live in poverty. I'm very lucky that the universe always has my back, but I know what it's like to look at my bank account and see minuses. I know what it's like to struggle and wonder, like, how am I going to support my son? How am I going to support myself? What am I going to do? I'm doing all these things. I'm here for the world. I'm here for life. I'm putting my energy here. But I still feel in lack of. I still feel like I'm struggling. And then I look around and see that the universe still has my back. And the people that I love still have my back. And I'm very lucky for that. But it doesn't mean it doesn't weigh heavy on my heart. It doesn't mean it's not hard. And I just want to heal from my struggles as well. And there's a very big difference for an energy exchange for your services, whatever that may be. I don't know. Maybe someone's baking you a pie. Maybe someone's going to give you a facial. Maybe someone's going to give you some Reiki. Or maybe you just feel like that person really needed that healing and that's the gift you want to give. And that's okay. But there's a very big difference between some sort of energy exchange for your services and then what does also happen in the spiritual community. Because remember, there's good and bad everywhere. Let me try not to put so much emphasis on good and bad. Because it's all experience to create with. But there is good and bad still. A healer that's charging this ridiculous amount of money and, creating unbalance, creating with sickness patterns, creating with these siphoning vampiristic patterns. Like, I'm going to charge you like $2,000 to heal you. That's ridiculous. Now, if you're going on some retreat and you're paying $2,000 and I don't know, maybe it's a 2-week retreat, and you're gonna, have all these supplies for you, you have to use common sense still. We don't just throw common sense out the window when we're on our spiritual quest. We still need to use the masculine. As much as we're all creating with the feminine and this creative energy, we still need to use the masculine and say, like, okay, this energy exchange does not fit the energy exchange. What's happening here? What's being created here? And you also have to go with your intention of the heart. Like, you gotta find a healer that is creating with the intention of the heart. Because that's a true healer. And people that are taking advantage of other people and are not heart-centered, that's not heart-centered. And you know what? There are many healers that are in the position that they can heal people for free. Many of them. Or there are many healers that have a system. You know what? This person can pay this amount or do this amount, or I have, I'm bartering with you. There are many healers that are able to do that. And remember, it's not always just about the money, but for a lot of us, we do need money to survive right now, because we're still living in a 3D based world. And I feel like many of us are fighting with ourselves. Like, what do I do? Because a lot of times you'll see many of people on this quest, they just hate money, and then they don't manifest any. And we need to manifest our abundance, but we need to remember we're not going to laser focus on the fact that our abundance is just money. And we will be shifting more and more of this monetary system and phasing it out in the economy of the new world. It won't be money the way that people think it is. And money is already shifting right now. The concept of money is already shifting right now. I mean, this is already even happening. Now, what other messages are coming through? Well, I feel like I said a lot. We talked about, like, we're healing from fear of sicknesses and what's been created. I think we've touched on a lot of points. Oh, okay. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to try to do a separate reading. We'll see what we are going to talk about it today. There is a conjunction with Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion, and truth. And Jupiter's, you know, Jupiter's got that enthusiasm. It's a planet of vitality, okay? And Neptune, the planet of fantasy, the planet of illusion. And I really want to see, like, Neptune is an interesting planet when I connect to its energy. It's so dreamy, but when you're dreaming, there's also nightmares there. But we're not gonna laser focus on that. That's fear. We're gonna keep the balance. Sometimes our nightmares have, they're releasing that fear. They're releasing that negative. They have something to say to us. The key is not to fear it. The key is to rise above it and to face it. Or you gotta feel it. You gotta feel it to heal it, guys. That's what a lot of healing from addiction is. You don't want to feel it because you felt so much of it, but we need to shift it. We need to remember we're not always going to be there. And that's the interesting part about trauma, is trauma tricks us to make us think we're still somewhere we're not. Okay? So we need to live in the present moment and look around us and see, no, we're not still stuck there. We just have to heal from that leftover residual energy that needs to be shifted. So back on track. The planet of luck and expansion and truth, vitality. I want to think the sun is vitality too, but we're all connected. Is in a conjunction with Neptune, the planet of dreams, fantasy, illusions. I really want to see such a creative planet, okay? In the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces was formerly working with Jupiter. Now, Pisces is working with Neptune, and no one rules anyone around here. We're not creating with hierarchy. So we're working together. Okay? What better place to access a deeper level of your truths to expand with than Neptune, your illusions? Look, you're getting a clear picture of your illusions, your fantasy, your dreams, what you want to create with, or maybe what you have created. Maybe, you know, what this artificial hack of the matrix is siphoned into your being, but you feel it's not true. Now you have this planet, Jupiter, come on in, and it's like, yo, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to the heart of the matter. We're going to get to a deeper level. Guys, I'm really feeling the Hermit. We're going to do some massive chakra healing. I really feel like after this conjunction on the 12th, we're not going to feel the same anymore. And it has something to do with this full moon in Libra on the 16th. Because we're going to be like graduation. We're going to be in a completion of something. And we're going to be talking about this completion for a little bit. Because we're shape-shifting. It's not just like we completed it. We're shape-shifting this completion. And I'm working on a few readings right now that I was hoping would have been done. But then I had to switch gears and take care of myself because I got under the weather. And we will be expanding through the earth. Now, guys, I want you guys to join me over here. We're going to look at channeled messages, and then we're going to expand off that. Talk about this some, further. And if any of what we talked about triggered you, start looking there for why it triggered you and what is still left over to heal, so that we can move forward to this, graduation, completion. With this, it's pretty cool that it's happening with Libra, and Libra is the element of air. And the restoration of balance. By having that sort of clarity that, that sword it's got both charges, positive and negative, within it. And we have restored balance to our karmic scales. And this has something to do with our soul and our spirit. And expanding our soul with our spirit in order to restore balance. And not feeling so heavy anymore. Being able to find the center point. Living more present within the present moment. Not always focusing, we as humans, it's just we seem to live a lot in the past or the future. We're activating a new level of being able to be present. But because we've lived pain, we faced pain. We're shifting our pain patterning. And our pain body is part of the activation of our light body. And we're going to work with some more untapped energy. We're going to free some more untapped energy to the core. And this has to do with that box. And, we've been talking about that box for some time. And we still will for a little bit. Alright, guys. See you in our next part.